これが僕に与えられた試練だというのであれば、全身全霊をもって挑むだけです。
そうだ、私が飲ませてあげよう。
先生ダメです、せめてお水を用意してから。
苦味と酸味の入り混じった中に、まるで馬小屋のような独特の匂いが襲い来る。さらに飲み干した後の妙な甘みが。
Seven-time loop episode 9. And my friends, every time this show is ending, I'm not even like really exaggerating here. Literally this week, I was on my desk, I was right here, and I was like this. I was like, what is she gonna do? What is she gonna do to get the vassal state of 𝐜𝐴 and coils? What is she gonna do to get it? And it's like, doop-a-doo, doop-a-doo. And I was like, no, not the ED. Every week it has me like at the edge of my seat. And I think last week what I had said was like, what seventh time loop really does really well is it builds those twists and turns and intrigue, and it does it really, really well. And it continues to kind of like put, I guess you could say dangle, kind of like dangle the carrot in front of the horse. And I guess in this case, me and you we're the horses here. But it does it so well that it kind of like, it makes the episode really feel really short. Like the episode started off this week of 𝐒𝐻𝐻𝐵𝐭 just simply in her garden, and a person from coils, ended up strolling into her garden, and that person ended up being her professor from her third life. Okay, so her professor from her third life, who also hails from coils, rolled into her life. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. So one of the big kind of like omitted pieces of the show that I felt in the writing was every time that she has a loop, she says, oh, this war, and I got caught up in the war and it ended my life. I got caught up in the war and it ended my life. The past couple of episodes, or maybe not last episode, but the couple of ones before that, she was with the merchant group, right? And the merchant group was kind of all over the world, and then she split from that merchant group and met her demise somehow. This one, though, is very clear. This professor, so we know in her, I think was it her fifth life? I think her fifth life, she worked directly for the prince. Okay, so she helped cure the prince, and she worked directly for the prince, which makes sense because in her third life, she helped develop the thing that cures the prince. So in her fifth life, she was a knight of the prince. So that makes sense. She met her demise, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is how I'm understanding it so far. She worked for the prince. She was a knight for the prince. She met her demise because the empire invaded and took over the kingdom or whatever. I think that's what it was. Again, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm confusing her third life and fifth life. Maybe her third life, she just happened to be in coils because of her professor. But regardless, her professor hails from coils, and it makes sense that she met her demise because she got caught up in the war, because it looks like the professor was based out of coils based on what we're seeing here. So she got caught up in the war. So, all right. Let's resume where I was saying. So she meets the professor in the garden, and she gets a really rare opportunity once again to much earlier and a much different point in time, much different place in life. She gets to meet the professor and kind of like begin working with him again. He shares some research material with him. She can describe him as an alchemist to Arnold, which she does. And she's able to kind of get a lot of research. So a lot of things that maybe she didn't have before, she's able to have now, which is really cool. And then reciprocally, she was able to produce the medicine that's going to help Prince 𝐜𝐴 heal himself from potentially not being able to walk and just simply live later down the line. So really cool stuff. The medicine was really, really bitter, and it was really, really cool to see the professor just jam it into his mouth and make him take it. Funny ass scene. He's like, it's sour, it's bitter, it tastes like baby throw up. Funny stuff. So we moved from that. Then we moved to Arnold giving her his pocket watch. We moved to the scene or the ball. We moved to her using her ninjutsu art, to sense people. And she's gonna be avoiding this. I forget what he was. Exactly. A count or something. But whoever the person in the military who she's trying to avoid, she's doing it. And she steps in on a conversation for Prince Arnold and Prince 𝐜𝐴, where Kyle's asking, to lend help to his country. And Arnold really smells what's going down. He's like, your country's basically like, it's washed up. Like, what would I gain? There's absolutely nothing. Like, it'd be much easier to just invade and take over your country than, get this, then take on the responsibility and to take on the potential of it going the wrong way for us to enter a, So what now with the cliffhanger we got left off on is, okay, what's 𝐒𝐻𝐻𝐵𝐿 gonna do about this? Can she work with Kyle? Can she work with Arnold to maybe the resources isn't gems and metals? Maybe the resources is people, like the professor, like other folks, like the people who are helping her make the ring. This is what I'm thinking, right? Is we established that the gem person in the town is getting an artisan from Coils, and they've drastically sped up the way that her ring's going to be developed, and the timeline went really down. So my assumption is resources can come from people like artisans and professors and certain folks who are held in high esteem. There could be some kind of shared bond there between these two countries to where maybe resources are reciprocally shared. Obviously, there's but they more share people resources. Again, this is just speculated. I can't wait to see what 𝐒𝐻𝐻𝐵𝐿 comes up with, but that's what this show ends up being. It ends up being this really cool dance of like, well, what's she gonna do now that we're divulging or diverging from the timeline? So this episode though felt really, really short, and it's because it's so good, and it's because I was like just watching the whole time. So anyway, 7th Time Loop, absolutely fantastic. This episode it's just hitting it out the park. Like every week that I watch, I'm just like, this is it. Like this is it. And I think this is getting a dubbed as well. At least I hope it's getting a dub. There's no dub yet, but I do hope that this ends up getting a dub, because this would definitely be one that I think those section of folks who only watch dub, and they do exist and they should exist because dub anime is awesome. I would really love for that section of folks to be able to have an opportunity to watch this as well too, because I think this is just an awesome anime that needs more eyeballs on it. So anyways, also Arnold's backwards look where his eyes glow up, he's like, I shall kill you. Awesome. All right, I'm gonna see you guys next week for episode number 10 as we, can you believe it, as we enter in the last section of Winter Anime 2024. It's crazy. All right, my friends, I'll see you guys next week. Peace.